Good morning, everyone. This is April with Flowers from the Foss family. We garden in zone 4A, 4B. So I did a little recording, and this one is going to be a little bit different because I took this recording on Friday, and you'll probably see this video on, let's see, today's Wednesday, so you'll probably see it on Thursday. So it's almost a week old, some of it. So, and the garden grows so fast. So I want to show you, like, this was Friday, and just a few days after this little video, I took another video, and I want to show you how fast things have grown. So this is just a couple days later, and I'm showing you the hollyhock that had self-seeded, and this grew right here, and it already bloomed within a couple days of that video that you just saw. And the zinnias have so many more ruffles on them, and so this was probably a couple days ago, and so now today, even a couple days later, they have so many ruffles. These zinnias are so big and pretty. I love them. Okay, so these are the amaranth that I just put some seeds in there for an experiment, and they're a little bit ridiculous in there, but that's okay. I'm going to put up a picture of what they look like kind of right now. And these phlox are so pretty. Pink is my favorite. I wish everything could be pink, or like a tone of pink, or the zinnias are really pretty colored too. Like, I really like that. But then again, I also like marigolds. So I don't know. I mean, colors is pretty, right? So taking a little span of the garden there. And these are the bubblegum petunias. They're just aggressive. They're so major, but I really love how they're turning out. And this rose that got chewed down so much, and it has 2 little flowers on it. I don't know how they survived because there's no leaves on that rose. There's tons and tons of foxgloves, and none of these foxgloves bloom this year, so they will next year. So it'll be a mass of foxgloves, which I really love. A panicle hydrangea, some sedum. I don't know what the dark colored sedum is because we got it from our neighbor. And I'm gonna put in a little video of what this looks like as well a few days later. So this video was taken last night, and it is last evening, well, probably like in the afternoon. It's covered with bees. I don't know how many, but many bees, because they're like under the little flowers too. They're fun to watch. Like, this is one of my favorite things to do, is to watch them. They go on this allium, and so in a couple days they'll be all over the sedum, because the sedum is starting to open up too. But right now it's all about the allium, and so we have some in the backyard too, and probably in the next video, if I can get to another video, I'll put that up as well. So now we're hopping back to Friday. These are the alliums, the same alliums, serendipity alliums, that we planted this year. So they're just tiny, and hopefully they'll be okay, because they're really being taken over by these petunias. So I think they'll be okay. A rose, no buds, had some way earlier on in the season. Self-seeded Cosmo there. I love the white ones. This is a blush hydrangea. They're called Incredible Blush Hydrangea, and all my Incredible Blush hydrangeas had some kind of issue, and that one was really big last year. I'll see if I can find a picture of it and stick it in here. Okay, this is the video that I found like super quickly. I could spend forever trying to find the exact right one. But this is the dinner plate cafe au lait Dahlia too, that will be in the next quick little snippet of video here. But this was last year. It's so prolific and just beautiful. And then this is the self-seeded Cosmo last year, and then behind it is that Incredible Blush, and you can kind of see how big and massive it was. It took up a huge spot, and this year it just had some damage. And this is the same cafe au lait dinner plate dahlia this year. And so last year we bought it at the garden center, and it looked like this when we bought it, and we bought it in May. And so it was already a plant, it was already massive, but it took this long for it to get this amount of flowers. And we, took the tubers out probably, April maybe. So it's taken months and months for it to get flowers. But I'm going to put a little video of what it looks like a few days later, because this was Friday. And this was maybe yesterday or a couple days ago. And so now that they have these big buds on it, it's going to just take off now. And they're so big. This video doesn't do justice how big this bloom is, and it's such a pretty color. I just love this dahlia. Very pretty. And here we are back at my most favorite part of the garden. It's the peat gravel little pathway here. It's such a cottagey feel. I love the alyssum spilling over into the walkway. And now we have the beautiful purple fountain grass just being so wispy and magical and pretty. I'm going to put in a couple pictures of different times of the day of this little spot. It's the most magical, beautiful spot in the garden. I absolutely love it. This part of the garden where it's kind of low looking is a new part of the garden. So we have some Ringo roses planted there that we just planted this season. And some of those they're called banana cream daisies. We have one that's mature, but it had some damage this year, so it didn't come back as prolific. And these are Linda's baby dahlias, and they're kind of small, like the blooms are small, but they almost go into a ball. They're not quite, but they're pretty close. But there's so many blooms and buds on this, so this is really cute. Unfortunately, we got rid of so many of our tubers. I wish we wouldn't have done that. The clematis right there is having a hard life. I don't know what's wrong with it. I feel like every time we touch it, it looks like it's on death's door. So maybe if we just leave it alone, it'll be okay. A span of the garden again. The phlox, that phlox smells so lovely. We have some Dara that volunteered in here, and I'm going to take the Dara out because I just don't want it self-seeding all over. So like I said, this video that I'm taking is kind of jumbled, so now we're phasing back to the little part of the garden where I said we have some new plants like the Ringo roses. There's a spirea and some mums that I just purchased the other day. We're going to put them in the ground. Sometimes they come back the next year, and none of them came back this year. It was a bad winter. This is a butterfly kiss echinacea, and something is wrong with that. I looked up what was wrong with my other echinacea, and it said leaf hoppers, so I hope that's not what's wrong with that. So I cut those bad ones off and hoping for the best. These are the banana cream daisies, and they're one of my favorite things. We have 2 brand new ones planted in there. We have Ringo roses and the delphinium. So the delphinium, it bloomed earlier in the summer, and I cut all the dead buds off, all the dead flowers off, and it grew a bunch of new ones, so I'm excited to see those bloom. This is called, I think it's called right there, My Monet Purple Effect Weigelia, and it stays small. It's like doesn't even get 2 by 2, which I wanted something small right there. So after this video, I actually pulled all those verbena out around it because I want it to just do what it's supposed to do. These are so cute snapdragons that we started in the house in February. I really like the purple lavender looking ones, and I do like the peachy ones, but they're not my favorite. So next year we won't probably grow those. I don't know, we'll see. I really like the alyssum, and I do love marigolds, but this little spot, this little path here didn't do what I had pictured in my mind. I thought the marigolds were going to be bigger and the alyssum was going to grow through the marigolds, but instead it's kind of the other way around. And then here we are at the Proudberry. Is it just called Proudberry? I think it's called Proudberry Coralberry little bush here. And it has these tiny little flowers on it, which, aren't that, prolific or anything, but they turn into the cutest pink berries in the, it'll probably be more towards September, which we're getting kind of close now, I guess. But right now, this is also covered in bees. So they're doing their thing, and we also have this self-seeded in a few places, which is so weird because that's never happened before. So that's fun. The alyssum, I like that alyssum the best. It's purple, and it has like the new little flowers that are like yellow, and then they turn purple. Some lamb's ear, some astrantia and geum back there. That geum is called, I think it's called Peach something. Super cute. We have 2 of those, and then we have a different one in the back. Some astrantia, totally being taken over by the alyssum here, and I'm not sure if that's why they're not growing the way they should be, or if they're in the wrong spot. So there was alyssum around this geum, and I pulled it out because I want the geum to grow, and the alyssum was over. It's, starting to seed out now. But I pulled it out, and the geum did not like that, so a lot of the leaves died. So it was really hot that day. I probably shouldn't have done that. This is another really beautiful spot in our garden with the cone flowers and the really the really cute panicle hydrangeas, and then the other hydrangea, the smooth hydrangeas in the back. Matt hung our huge basket of petunias right there. It's not there anymore because it was hanging on the deck, and then what it was hanging on started bending super slowly, and I thought it was gonna break. It's just very heavy, so he keeps moving it around the yard, and it was there for a few days. This is called amaretto basil, I think that's what it's called. I like the dark foliage, and that's why I plant it. We don't eat it or anything. I just like the way it looks in the garden. It does get these really cute flowers on it that I pinch off, because if you pinch them off, it just keeps getting bushier. And so this one has actually got quite bushy because it's just one basil plant. These are jewels of opar. They self-seeded. I had those planted there a couple of years ago, so it's funny that they're self-seeding now. And like I said, a lot of things self-seeded this year and had something to do with the winter and then the wet spring. So that is fun. Unfortunately, like I said, many of our perennials died and bushes, and so that is not fun. This is a sedum. I don't know what it's called. It's from our neighbor 4 or 5 years ago. And it's starting to bloom. So maybe today, actually, because this was last Friday. So maybe today it's full of bees. I don't know. I haven't looked out there. I was out there this morning, and it tends to happen later on in the afternoon. All the bee action. So we do have to cut down that that nepeta over there. This is a cherry sparkler grass, super cute. The panicle hydrangea is called a quick fire hydrangea, and it's white right now. It's starting to turn pink actually, and so that's going to be a very cute color. Later on, this is a Wygelia, a very fine wine. So this stays small too, which I wanted. I wanted something smaller, and I wanted something with that dark foliage, because there's really nothing right here with dark foliage. There's tons of self-seeded lupin in here, and we might kind of have to keep an eye on that, because I don't want it covering all my, bushes. So you can kind of see that it's turning pink, a little bit pink. It's so cute. I love the pen. I love all the hydrangeas. They're just so prolific and so beautiful. A foxglove there that is going over, but it has a couple new little spikes coming up. A self-seeded cosmos, self-seeded liatris, tons of foxgloves in here. This is a fatal attraction echinacea, which is also having a hard time, so I don't know. I hope it's not that leaf hopper issue. And if it is, I mean, we'll have to take it out, but that thing doesn't get any bigger than what it is. It's been that size since we got it like 4 years ago. This is phlox. So this, like I said, this was Friday. This video was taken on Friday, and now, you know, they're blooming and they're so cute. So I'll stick a little picture or video of that in here. And this is like a couple days ago, so they're even more so now. And they look, I like how they look a little bit roughly. This was in a bag of 50 like bulbs and roots of phlox, and it had yarrow, had liatris, and what else? There was one more thing I can't remember, but they're so cute. And just, I need more of them. There's some in the backyard. There's some that we have them all over. They're very, very cute. These 2 sunflowers self-seeded, and we just left them. You'll see that we leave a lot of things that self-seed just because I like that cottage garden look. But we do pull things up as well. This is hyssop, and it's going over now, but the bees still are all over it. This self-seeds everywhere, so we are constantly pulling up little baby hyssop all over. This is an Invincible Spirit 2, and this hydrangea has something boring into the stems. I suppose I could look it up and figure out what it is. I heard someone talking about it before, and so you can see that these blooms here, there's something wrong with them. So I don't know. Down here, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. It's like boring down into that stem, and all that little white stuff is from whatever they're doing. Like that's part of the inside of the stem there, and it's everywhere. So we were looking at it, and there's a little tiny bug that like goes inside there and does whatever it's doing and ruining that plant. So Matt sprayed it with something, and so I think it stopped what it's doing, but the damage is already done. So if you know what I'm supposed to do, should I just cut those off? Like, what should I do? I don't know. Like, is that plant done now? I hope not. But like I said, if you know what I should do, let me know. Some bee action on the hyssop, just going crazy. And these are all self-seeded black-eyed Susan. I don't know, do you call them black-eyed Susan or Rebecca? What is it called? Rudbeckia? I think it's either or. We just left them, and it has self-seeded in other spots too. So we kind of had to pull a bunch out because I like them, but I don't want them everywhere, like just taking over. So they're really cute next to the liatris here. What else do we have? We have this Wygelia, the wine and roses. There was a coneflower right there in that bare spot that had that leafhopper disease, and we dug it out, and several other places in the garden as well. Don't mind the little dead patches of grass there. I had one of my lounge chairs and an umbrella with its stand, and it killed the grass, and we moved it somewhere else anyway. So a close-up of the Rudbeckia with the liatris. Bees really love liatris too. And liatris self-seeds everywhere, so Matt's been moving some of it to the backyard in a different spot because we have quite a big patch in the backyard too, but he's moved it to a little different spot. That heuchera, it looks good right there, but today I noticed that I had a bunch of dead leaves on it, so maybe it's not enough in the shade. I don't know. Some coneflowers. These were self-seeded here. There was a bad patch of it, which I think had that leafhopper disease, and Matt took it out. The lilac, we are going to take the lilac out, and it's going to be a big, huge job. So we just keep like hacking it down. So I don't know. That's a big job. There's too many big jobs to do. There's also a mountain ash tree that's right behind here, and that is also going to be taken out because it's shading some of the bushes and stuff, and we don't want it to do that. That's another incredible hydrangea. That one's okay. That one's actually doing okay. This is a ginger wine 9-bark, and that's brand new this year. I wanted something with dark foliage in this spot. All the bearded iris foliage is, obviously the irises are done now, but we left the foliage up. A little tiny self-seeded sunflower and self-seeded cosmos. They're just teeny tiny, and we just let them go because it's just why not? They want to live, let them live. A grass. We are going to divide the grasses up because they really didn't. I'll have to look, because to me in my mind I'm like, they're not as prolific as they were last year, but it could have also been the winter. A bobo hydrangea. Phlox. The phlox smells really good, and that also self-seeds, so we have some little self-seeders of that nearby. A delphinium. The delphinium was also way more prolific last year. A liatris out of place. I dug that up and Matt put it in the backyard. Rhododendron. The rhododendron also didn't flower like it should have in the early summer, which is too bad. So all these bachelor buttons are self-seeded here. And after this video, actually a couple days after this video, I went through here and opened up this spot for the Wygelia. This is a sonic bloom hydrangea, and it blooms throughout the summer. And so it's brand new this year, and it looks really, really good. So I took all these bachelor buttons that were growing around it out of there. This is a Caramia echinacea. Super cute, but that also didn't come back very well, but it did come back, so yay. That's another bobo hydrangea, and under here is another hydrangea, which also it needs to be opened up around there too so it gets more sun. So I actually have to go back in and pull up the Dara because we don't want that everywhere. It's super cute, I love it, but I don't want that self-seeding everywhere in here. I do like the cottage look, but there's a certain point where I'm like, that's too much craziness going on. The liatris from the other side. Some snapdragons in here. Astrantia, some sage. The Astrantia is really cute. It's such a neat little cute flower. Little up close of what it looks like. So this one is the best growing one, but it also should be growing way better than what it is. So we moved one underneath a hydrangea that I think I'll show you in a minute here. And then I got a new little one this year that we planted in the shade, so we'll see which one grows best. This is a sedum. I can't remember what it's called. I remembered in the last video. Now I can't remember. Something joy. And we got that from the neighbor, and just one little bush, and that was now we have a few of them. Firelight tidbit. Heuchera. The heuchera flowers are so cute and dainty. But these 3 heuchera plants are just kind of tucked back here, and they're being taken over by phlox and everything. This is the Astrantia that we moved over here, so we'll see how it grows right there underneath this incredible blush hydrangea. This one is the best growing one this year. So I had 4 of them. One of them died. And I have 3 now. This is the phlox. I don't know what it's called or anything because this was also from the neighbor. And we had a little volunteer bee balm right there. The bees really love that bee balm. So we should have more of that because it's actually a nice bright color in the garden. So maybe, I don't know, we'll see. We just let it go. And I was told in my last video, thank you whoever told me, that those are a perennial sunflower. So that's cute and fun. Some flax, flowering flax. It's still going. Like, this is such a cute little bush. Is it a bush? Perennial. I don't know. It's just so cute. Endless summer hydrangea back there. And so the thing with those endless summer hydrangeas is they grow on old and new wood. Well, all the old wood died, and this year it had to grow on new wood, and it didn't get any blooms. So I don't know, maybe we'll have to move that in a different spot. A little bee enjoying the liatris here. Some zinnias. So these zinnias are doing, I think they need more water because they look a little bit curled up. So they must need more water. Liatris back here. Cosmos. The lilies are done. Boo, they were so cute. And this petunia is that big, huge petunia. And it doesn't look as big right here, but it is pretty massive. It's very heavy and massive. And let's see if I have a picture of Matt holding it. He loves gardening. He's really good at it too. So I just let him do whatever. Actually, yesterday, he's like, aren't we tearing up the garden today because we have to divide a bunch of things? I'm like, no, it's too hot. So we did not do that yesterday. A hydrangea, the smooth hydrangea, a 9-bark. This little spot is a mess too, but I'm just letting it go right now. These are a globe thistle echinops. They're super neat. They're really, really neat looking. I wonder if I have a picture of the bees just going crazy on it. If I do, I'll stick it in there. The limelight hydrangea back there. It's called a limelight prime. And the blooms are not that great. They're so small. So if I were to choose again, I probably would not buy the limelight prime. I would stay with either the Zinfandel hydrangea, which I never hear anyone talk about, so I don't know. But it's really, really, it has huge blooms, or the Quickfire Fab. I love that one. The hydrangea is starting to burn now, the smooth hydrangea, the incredible hydrangea, they're starting to burn. But they still are very prolific, and they're still so cute, so that's okay. Some self-seeded penstemon here. This is Midnight Masquerade. This one has gone over, and these are the seed heads, which I think are so cute, so I just leave them. I heard that you can cut them and then it'll bloom again. Not as prolific, but it will bloom again, but I just leave the seed heads up. Russian sage, I'm not sure. I know there's one called Denim and Lace. I'm not sure if this is that one. I could look back and see if that's the one actually. So I'm going to look and see if that is the Denim and Lace one. We have some variegated sage, foxglove that will bloom next year. Some more sage. That sage will have to move. And then we have a tiny little baby Russian sage on the side there that will get bigger. This is a ginger wine 9-bark. Just beautiful. I love this so much. Has a lot of new growth. It's very tall. I love the tips of the new growth. It's like a dark orange burgundy. It's just very pretty. And then these seed heads on there. And this has grown so big since we got it. I can't believe how big and pretty it is. I love it next to the Russian sage. I love that whole spot. the Russian sage, the purple, you know, the silvery foliage of it, and then the dark nine bark, and then the white incredible blush hydrangea is just so cute together. The other side of our garden. And like I said, this was Friday when I was recording this, and it started raining. So I had to stop what I was doing, and then I went in the house and I took a video of where I went into our new favorite spot in the house when it rains. So when it rains, or if it's too hot, or in the evening, we come out here to the porch. And so there is a video of this, what we did to this. So we've lived in our house for 25 years and we never utilized our porch ever. Raising 7 kids and just being busy, it just never was at the top of my list to like make the way I wanted to, and obviously money and time and all the things. And so at the end of last summer, Matt cleaned out this porch, and it wasn't that bad or anything. It just, you know, had things in it, and so we never sat in here or anything. So we cleaned it out, and then we bought this furniture on Facebook Marketplace. I can't believe I found this wicker furniture. It's so comfortable and so nice. It really is so nice. We found it for $500, which I can't get over. And so we bought it and put it in here, and then this spring we totally like redid it. Matt put new windows in, he made screens, I painted it all by hand. I like using a paintbrush instead of a roller, and it's this oasis now that we come and sit in here. And I put most of my plants in here, and I used to not have one single plant like a couple years ago, and 5 years ago we didn't even have a garden. And so I still have to paint that doorway. There's still things that we have to do in here, and that's okay. But it's one of our favorite places to come and just sit, and I love it. So I just wanted to add that in here for you guys. I believe I didn't even come back out to the garden until like maybe the next day, or I don't even remember when, to finish recording. Maybe later. Oh gosh, I don't remember. But anyways, so there's some mums here that we are going to place in the ground, and hopefully they'll come back next year. Like I said, that doesn't always happen, but I want to try anyways. This is a Zinfandel panicle hydrangea, and the bloom heads are massive, and there's so many of them, and it's very tall compared to the other ones. So I would say it's probably the best kind of hydrangea if you want like a really tall one. The only problem with it is it's kind of bare on the bottom, and so it's trying to fill in down there. We'll see what happens next year, because the winter was such an odd winter. I'm not really like thinking, oh, that's what it's going to look like. Maybe it'll look different next year. I guess we'll just have to find out. There's some sage and some heuchera tucked in there, and some lupin. We're going to see if the lupin comes back. I hope it does. I hope it blooms next year. The Alfredo viburnum, which is one of my favorite bushes. There's another limelight prime, and it just is not as great as the other one. If you look at them side by side, like the blooms are not really blooming. I mean, there's a couple of them, but I wish it would, because summer for us is almost over, basically. It's the middle of August, and maybe we have a good month left. Hopefully longer, but our first frost date is like in like September 4th or something like that. So hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully we have a while longer, but I would like to see blooms on my hydrangeas before the end of summer. Some phlox in here. The alyssum, this alyssum, I believe, all self-seeded here. And so we should pull it out, give the phlox, more room. But I just really love how everything looks in here. This is a quick fire fab hydrangea. It has this little odd growth coming out of the middle of it. But look at how compact and how many blooms there are on here. Like, this is what I want my hydrangeas to look like, just full and pretty. A smoke bush, so I'm thinking that that smoke bush might have to be moved. I think it might be way too close to everything right here. That's a snowball viburnum. The hose is always out all the time. Even this is a black lace elderberry. So even though we have a water system that you can kind of see in spots for our garden, we still have the hose out to do some spot watering sometimes. Endless summer hydrangea, I thought it was dead, but it actually got some very beautiful blooms on it. And we have this same one next to the mailbox that did not get anything on it. A spirea, and this spot is messy. The garden is always a work in progress, and so I'm fine with that. Maybe next year it'll look a little more put together. We'll see. A view of the little path with the marigolds and the purple fountain grass and petunias and alyssum is just such a pretty spot. I love this spot. So that is the front yard garden, and then I'm going to take one also of the backyard garden, just share what we got going on back here. We have some zinnias. There's two different kinds here. So this one is called a giant, I'm not even going to say it because I don't know for sure, but those zinnias are two different kinds back there. This is the Limelight Prime. Again, not as great as the Quickfire Fab that's right next to it. It's not as, so the Quickfire Fab isn't as tall, but I think it will get taller. I think it's supposed to get 6 feet, 6 to 8 feet, so that's okay. The Liatris here is growing so nicely. It is pretty next to the hydrangeas, and then the orange rocket barberry there. From afar, the garden back here is pretty. There's lots of color back there. But to be honest, like, I don't spend as much time back here as I do in the front yard. So I don't know what the future will look like for this backyard garden. We might change it up. We'll see what we, do. Gardening is a lot of work, a lot of upkeep. Some yarrow, these zinnias, some of them have just like died. So that spot kind of had a hard time when we had so much rain. Some self-seeded Dara is very cute. I love it, and I just kept a patch right here, and I'm trying to pull up. If I see it in other spots, I pull it up. The alyssum down here is all self-seeded. All this alyssum is all self-seeded, and it's very prolific. Some snapdragons, some more zinnias that I really love. I love the color of the zinnias. There's Sweet William back there that is over now, and it's going to seed, and we're going to save the seeds and put the seeds around the garden. This is a Millennium Allium, and right now, so this was Friday, and so today is Wednesday, and it's opened up now, and it's full of bees. More zinnias. I think I want like more of these next year because they're just so cute, and they're so big, and they're so nice. And so some of them, not in this video, but some of them now are going over, and so I'm going to go and cut them off, and then it should keep blooming until frost. So we'll see how that goes. And the little bee sleeping on this coneflower here. A spirea that has already bloomed and done with that. On one of our spireas in the front yard, I took off all the spent blooms, and then it did bloom again. So I suppose I could have done that maybe next year. This hydrangea is starting to turn the lime color now. This is a work in progress, this garden. This stilby is going over now. That was such a pretty spot when that was in bloom. Very pretty. So lamium down there, tucked down in there, that's growing well. A fern a heuchera. Matt moved that heuchera, so I think I want 2 more heuchera right here in this spot. So that astrantia is new, never mind the pot it was in. So Matt plants all the things, and then he just plants it, and then he throws the things around, and then I have to go pick them up. So this one is a Sparkling Stars astrantia. This is a coleus that we started in the house, and I pinched those flowers off too, so it keeps branching off and flowering more. There's another astilbe down there, a Cosmo. That Cosmo is weird. It's like, I don't know what happened to it. Some Queen of the Prairie, and this is our, like, behind here is like our dumping ground where we dump all the things we cut back and just build this. Matt calls it the berm. Zinnias back, not zinnias, zucchini back there that we started eating off of. We've gotten a few, and there's tons of bush beans all over the back of this path. This is a quick fire fab too, and so it's not doing very well back there. It doesn't have very many blooms, and it should because it's been back there for 4 years. So I think it needs more sun. It is very messy back here. So this is Feverfew, Dara. I love this little spot too with these orange flowers. I think someone said it's Coreopsis. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. That's right. Let me know. Some grasses. And some kind of echinacea that we got from a neighbor, so I'm not sure. It's not, doesn't look like the purple coneflower ones. It's a little bit different looking. A zinnia. Some sedum. Stuck this little video in here that I took like after the main video, obviously, of these poppies. So I don't think you can hear it on here, but when you shake it, all the seeds are in there. And I am kind of showing you, I love what poppy seed heads look like. Bread seed poppies, they're so neat. So usually we just like split them in half and then take all the seeds off, but I'm trying to show you. So taking off this top little spot here, and it's super sharp actually. And then that thing is full of, I don't even know, thousands of seeds, maybe hundreds, I don't know. So I'm pouring it into my hand and showing you kind of just like a little bit of what they look like. They're tiny, tiny, tiny seeds, and we just, some of them we've pulled up, and then some of them we just let go because they self-seed everywhere. And so then we just keep some. And this year I've noticed the ones that have self-seeded are doing better than the ones that I started in the house. So I don't know, go figure. Back to the little spot here, we have Dara. Those flowers that are orange and, are they orange? Orange and reddish. They also self-seed all over. That is a 9 bark that we're trying. It has a little bit of a mildew problem, so hopefully it'll be okay. Love and a Mist that self-seeded all over right here, and I like it. It's a cute little spot. And then they had these Sweet William catchfly flowers that are super bright and pink, and they self-seed all over too. And it was a very cute spot. But I'm thinking for next year or in a couple years, maybe we're going to put some kind of little bush there. Because yes, it's cute, but I would like something more, I don't know, just nicer. I'm thinking maybe phlox, actually. We have a phlox in the back here that I don't know if I show you on this video that I want to move because it's in the back of the garden, like way back in the garden. And I never really get to see it because, I don't know, it's such in a weird spot. All these snapdragons that I had started in the house, and they're going over now. A lot of them are spent. Coneflowers. So we had a coneflower right there, and then there's another one right there. And in the middle of them, there was one that had that leafhopper disease. So we yanked that out. There's some yarrow. I love the color of it. It's just super messy looking. Some sedum. And we're back where we started here on the backyard garden, the Liatris. And so that's our backyard garden, and it's kind of messy back there, and it's kind of like, what are we going to do with this spot? I don't know yet. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of long, but and it actually took like a full week to get to it. So I hope you enjoy, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.